Okay, number 1, well, 1 through 4, it just wants you to decide if it's an independent event or a dependent event. So if the first thing happening affects the second. So number 1 says rolling a dice and tossing a coin. If I roll a dice, I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? If I toss a coin, I can get heads or tails. If I roll a 1 on the dice, does it change what I can get on the coin? It doesn't, right? Like I can roll a 2 and get heads or tails, a 3 and get heads or tails. It doesn't change what happens on the coin. So this makes that an independent event. They do not depend on each other. Independent. Sorry. Now the second one, it has a bag of marbles. If I take a marble out of the bag, let's see, I have a bag of marbles. Look at my art skill. All these marbles inside. First, I take a marble out. So this one comes out. So I did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 marbles, but I take one out. Now I have how many marbles? I have 9 marbles, right? Because I took one out. So if I took a marble out the first time, does it change the marbles I can pull out the second time? Yeah, because there used to be 10 and now there's only 9. Taking one out changed the marbles that were in my bag. So that becomes a dependent event. And all 3, 4, and 5 want you to do is to decide if they are independent or dependent. Number 5, 6, and 7, we're going to use these pictures right here. 5 says you randomly choose 3 objects without putting them back in. What is the probability that you get a heart, a tree, and an umbrella in this order? So there's 3 events. We need the probability of getting a heart. I'm going to do this somewhere else. There's not enough room for this. A heart, a tree, and an umbrella. So what's the probability of getting a heart? Now, how many hearts are there? 1 out of how many? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the probability of getting a heart is 1 out of 7. Now, do I put the heart back in? No, so the heart's not there anymore. Next, I want a tree. What's the probability of getting a tree? One tree out of how many? Oh, are there still 7? I already took the heart out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the tree's gone. Last, I want an umbrella. What's the probability of drawing an umbrella? There's 1 umbrella out of how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are dependent events, right? Because I'm taking them out and not putting them in. So what do we do with probability? We multiply. We never, 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 never add probability. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to do it. Don't do it. So 1 times 1 times 1. 7 times 6 is 42. 42 times 5. I can't do that stuff in my head. Maybe, but I'd probably get it wrong. 42 times 5 is 210. So the probability of getting a heart, a tree, and an umbrella is 1 out of 210. Probably not going to happen. Now, the second part of number 5 says, what happens if you do put the objects back in? Find the probability assuming you do put the objects back in. So, I still want a heart, I still want a tree, and I still want an umbrella. So, what's the probability I get a heart? 1 out of 7, right? And then I put the heart back in. So I'm not scribbling the heart out, it's still there. Then I'm going to draw a tree. What's the probability of drawing a tree? 1 out of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I put that heart back. And then I put the tree back in, it's still there. The last one is an umbrella. 1 umbrella out of how many things? 7. So now you must multiply. Do not add. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 7 is 49 times 7 . Double check me. I'm not super confident on that one. So 1 out of 343, unless of course I was wrong, and then you're probably right. What do you think? All right. Number 6 says you randomly choose an object without putting it back in. What is the probability it will not be a heart? I don't know why it talks about putting it back in. In fact, I'm going to change it now. No. I don't know why it says without putting them back in. You're just looking for the probability of not a heart. Not a heart. There's 7 objects. How many are not hearts? Number 7 says you randomly choose the you can do that. You don't need me.